And Govan, I understand you have with you the woman of the moment, if you will, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, for more on these reports released today.
That's right, Tamagila. I'm joined here by the Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. She's just made those findings that you've alluded to. Them obviously the main ones among them being the finding against the former Sports Minister Mbalula regarding his 5-day holiday to Dubai with his family. They're the advocate finding that Sedgars did in fact pay at least 300,000 rand towards that family holiday, and that payment was only made after the Mbalulas had already gone on the trip. Some of the other highlights included in that by the Public Protector is the fact that Mr. Mbalula saying that he did not know that one of the directors of Sedgars, Mr. Yusuf Dokrat, was actually a director of that company at the time when he asked for the money to pay for the family holiday. But I am joined here by the Public Protector just to go through some of these findings. Ma'am, first of all, you've made this finding against the former sports minister, but you're choosing not to take any or recommend any remedial action because he's no longer a member of parliament. But the question really remains, you found that the minister at the time had approached a director of Sedgars for the money to pay for his holiday, and he told you that he didn't know he was the director, and he also said that when he left he didn't know how much the holiday was going to cost. But did you believe that response, and why not act against him for that?
I think that's why the finding is that I've indicated in the report and the findings that, that explanation that he did not know, especially being friends for 2 decades, it's not explainable. And I think I've also indicated that, in fact, the findings are more of broader now against any member of the executive. And I think you've seen that I said it should be compulsory that when they appoint new deputy ministers, they should be trained on the Executive Members Ethics Act so that they can understand the implications of their conduct, because you cannot just behave as if this is my friend, therefore there's nothing wrong in doing what I'm doing. The bar is very high, and the standard in which you are expected to act as an executive member should be very high.
You've also asked the National Prosecutions Authority to investigate whether or not the money used to pay for the trip didn't come as a proceed of money laundering. Where does that suspicion come from, and what was your other recommendation to refer to the Financial Intelligence Center?
I think the challenge here is the amount of cash which was utilized. It's questionable why so much money or so much cash was availed and deposited. So on those ones, it's for the NPA and the Financial Intelligence Center to determine and to even then investigate further. You'd find that there is an explanation why so much cash was utilized.
You've also found that the Premier of the Western Cape, Helen Zille, has violated the Constitution by exposing herself to the risk of conflict. Here you've put a lot of emphasis on government leaders who expose themselves to risk and what the Constitution says about that. What did the Premier of the Western Cape do wrong according to the Constitution, and why were her explanations not accepted?
She exposed herself to that risk. She's the mother of this owner of this paper video. As a mother and as an executive, then approaching the Director General and the MEC of Education, and was by doing that, then giving an unfair advantage to the company, irrespective of whether then they didn't benefit. But the fact of the matter is, now they have a company, now they are benefiting, they have resources. And that's what we engage on, that yes, now they might not have benefited, but then now you have given them that unfair advantage over the others. And I think her explanation was, no, she approaches any person, for any person who has a business idea, especially on education, because she's very passionate about that, which is appreciated, and even the son. But the issue is, now this is the child of an executive. And the Constitution is very clear. And I think I've been saying members of the executive, irrespective of what position you're holding, you cannot behave as if you are any other person who can refer a person. And remember, again, by doing that, why not follow the proper processes because this person is a teacher or should have approached the principal engaged the district director, district director approached then the DG of the department to say there's something like this which we can be utilized. It's a fair process. Everybody is given that opportunity.
In your remedial action, you're saying the President should make comments on your report submitted to the National Council of Provinces. You're also saying that the Western Cape Legislature should be tasked with holding the Premier accountable. In your opinion, what would be appropriate mechanisms, or what could the Western Cape Legislature do that would constitute her being held accountable?
I think she should acknowledge that you don't behave as a member of the executive the way she has behaved, and she should desist or refrain, and any other member of the executive from behaving the way she has behaved. I wouldn't even impose on them how to deal with her. And again, the best part about the legislature is that all members of the legislature will have a say in that particular issue and will decide what a proper remedial action or remedy they can adopt.
On the last issue, Public Protector, you've made findings against the former Director General of the Treasury as well, that he had failed to notify his employer of his previous conviction according to the Road Traffic Act. But another case which stood out was the Mbalula local municipality investigation, where you have essentially confirmed suspicions that were raised by the late Sindisa Magaqa about alleged irregular contracts being awarded. What did you find in Mbalula, and were you able to establish a link to any sort of political violence in that area as a result of these contracts?
I think on that one, I was not investigating, especially the political violence, but then any act or any conduct which relates to alleged corruption. I think I didn't read that part, where also I have referred the matter to the police, especially to investigate that criminal conduct as far as that matter is concerned. But then on the issue of Mr. Mkhwebane, the thing is a standard of integrity, issue of honesty, because as a senior management service handbook is very clear. That is what is expected under your core management competences. And again, you need to be in that very strategic department where you are holding the resources of the country. Such a issue which can be regarded as if it's not a serious issue, but it goes a long way, because what kind of an integrity or a person which we expect to be holding the resources of the country?
Thank you so much, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, Public Protector of South Africa. Well, Thembekile, there you have it. 3 serious findings against the integrity of senior state representatives. The Director General of the Treasury not announcing or notifying his employer of his previous conviction. Helen Zille, according to the Public Protector, using her influence to secure a certain contract for her son, even though it was of no financial benefit to him. And then lastly, Mbalula saying that he didn't know that the director of SEDGAS was the one that was actually helping him out with more than 300,000 rand to pay for his family holiday in Dubai. Those are the findings, and we'll sure to get more information from the report as the day goes by.
ENC reporter Govan Whittles. For now, let's leave it there. Govan live for us in Pretoria this afternoon.